So imagine you are sold by your uncle to the highest bidder, and the man that buys you moves you into his house with his fiance and his child. Yes, that's exactly what happens to our FMC Gabby. Now, Gabby has lived with her Uncle David since she was a little girl because her parents died when she was really young. So her Uncle David is the only family she has. Now, her Uncle David is not a good man. He is a PIMP, if you catch my drift. Like, he has the girls, he puts them up in this nice mansion. He has them living lavish, but they got to do what they got to do. Now, we don't shame professions over here, but unfortunately, these 304s bit off more than they could chew, because he doesn't just want them to give their services. He ends up selling them in the trade. Yeah, that's what I mean when I said they bit off more than they could chew. But he knew he could get away with it because he said out of his own mouth, hey, they don't have anybody looking for them. Don't nobody care. So I'm good. So Gabby's Uncle David sells all the girls in the house. And he says, you're next. And she's like, what? And did I mention Gabby is a 22-year-old? She has never done anything. So that's one of his selling points. He takes her to a ball and is like, hey, I have someone who's been completely untouched, and she can go to the highest bidder. That's where we find Zoo. Now, Zoo is now currently the head of his own criminal enterprise because his father was just recently by a car, And so because of that, Zoo's at this function and he sees David standing beside his own uncle. And Gabby's Uncle David's like, yeah, you want her? I'll sell her to you. Now Zoo is like, pump your brakes, because I'm that guy. I've never had to beg for it or buy it. And David's like, cool, whatever. If you don't want her, I'll give it to somebody else. So of course Zoo is like, no, we're not going to do that. So he buys her and he brings her back to his house where he lives with his fiance and his child. But his house is so big that he figured he could keep them apart until he figured out what was what. Now we all know. Of course it didn't work out that way. But you have to go read the book to find out, is Zoo able to get down to the bottom of this? Is her Uncle David really trafficking all those women? And does Gabby fall for Zoo? Because did I mention that man is fine and he's paid and he's a billionaire? The book, let me know what you think.